Come with me for my third practical exam at pastry school in New York City. Today we're making layer cake, so we've practiced for this a few times. We started by making our Swiss meringue buttercream. So for this, we take our egg whites and sugar and heat them over a double boiler until they get to 140 degrees. Once it hits 140, you add it to the stand mixer. Then you add in room temperature butter until it's all incorporated into beautiful buttercream. Unfortunately, mine was a little bit cold, I think, so it started to break apart, but I brought out the kitchen torch and heated it up, and it turned out really nicely. Then we brought out our cake layers that we'd made in a class before and started by leveling everything out. Chef came over to see my layers before I got going building, and then I was ready to assemble. So I added on the buttercream, raspberry jam in the middle, and then got going with the crumb coat. We honestly didn't have a ton of buttercream, so I wanted to keep the crumb coat as thin as I possibly could. I smoothed this out and tried to cover up all the different crumbs, and then it was ready to go into the blast. And then I got going adding on a nice thick layer of this buttercream. I really wanted to make this as perfect as I possibly could, so I kept going back and smoothing out the sides and the top, and then I threw it back in the blast and brought it out to smooth one more time. Chef came over to see it, and he said it looked good, but that it could be a little bit smoother, so I went to work smoothing it out. Once I was happy with where it was, we had to add words on top of this, which traditionally does not go well for me, but I did my best to add happy birthday, and then I did some shell piping around the top and around the base of the cake. I should have taken my time a little bit more, but overall the piping turned out pretty well. Chef came over to do my grading and said that it looked good, but definitely could be better. So I still have room to improve, but I'm pretty happy with how this looked. Then for fun at the end of the class, I added on some ruffles, which definitely need some work, but overall it was such a fun exam.